And so I think that's probably going a long way towards explaining why we do have job openings, but they're not being filled by people who haven't been able to acquire the additional skills that are needed, and maybe are pretty good at what they used to do, but have not had the opportunity or made the time to get their skills updated or increased. And it helps, and the article does go on to explain, it helps explain why many companies complain they can't find qualified people for certain jobs, even with 4.6 unemployed Americans on average competing for each opening. Workers aren't just being asked to increase their output, they're being asked to broaden it too. Economists have long worried that millions of people who have lost jobs in depressed areas, like construction, don't qualify for work in growing sectors like healthcare. But it turns out that some of the jobless no longer even qualify for the old positions, which is a shame. I know construction workers who are extremely skilled, are very good at what they do, but maybe they're being required to do something drastically different along with their old job skills, like maybe use a computer to program equipment or working with telecommunications. Fortunately, again, with the Wellmark project, we were able to see a lot of employed Iowans. So we'll just have to watch that and see how that trend plays out. But I did find another article, and this is also in the business section of the Tuesday Des Moines Register, and I'm going to put the title there. Job Market Theory Wins 3 Nobel Prize. Maybe we can find at least what the Nobel winners say about our job market. Because searching for jobs takes time and resources, it creates friction in the job market, helping to explain why there are both job vacancies and unemployment simultaneously. The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences said, quote, "The Lawrence models help us understand the ways in which unemployment, job vacancies, and wages are affected by regulation and economic policy," the citation said. Their work resulted in the so-called Diamond-Mortensen-Pissarides model, a frequently used tool to estimate how unemployment benefits, interest rates, the efficiency of employment agencies, and other factors can affect the labor market. One conclusion is that more generous unemployment benefits give rise to higher unemployment and longer search times. But the other winner said he goes on to dismiss that as a major factor in the high unemployment, saying instead that the current job troubles are a function of the impaired financial markets. That does sound likely. Okay, here's another significant article of the great goings-on in our great city, which are many. Iowans seek to block prison bid. And that is a very significant issue that's been playing out in our news lately. It's two companies, Weitz company, who operates out of Des Moines, and Walsh, who operates out of Chicago, Illinois, have gone head-to-head bidding for the same job, a prison in Fort Madison. Master Builders of Iowa and longtime Iowa contractor Orville Crowley on Tuesday asked a Polk County judge to stop the state from signing a contract with an Illinois firm that submitted the low bid to build the new state prison at Fort Madison. Crowley, he and Master Builders said the low bidder, Walsh Construction of Chicago, didn't acknowledge Illinois' local preference in bid documents, so the state should throw out all bids and start over. And my understanding of that is that Illinois bidders, particularly Walsh, which is a union construction firm, gives preference in its hiring and probably subcontracting to Illinois workers, union workers, and then also union subcontracting firms. So that's an issue since, the prison is technically located in Fort Madison. I don't know. Iowa officials say they acted appropriately. On Monday, Governor Chet Culver ordered his staff to sign a contract with Walsh, which bid $106.9 million to build the 800-bed maximum security prison. Jobs are a hot topic because the jobless rate in building trades in southeast Iowa is estimated at 15 to 20%. So while Iowa has relatively low unemployment rate, in comparison to the rest of the nation, in the building trades, they're very much hurting for employment. And so that's where the issue is becoming a very, very hot topic. Weitz submitted the low bid among Iowa firms, $121.6 million, and joined master builders to file administrative appeals on the Walsh contract. Other bidders were from Illinois and Minnesota. A hearing on a temporary injunction is this week, and I don't know how that's playing out in the news, but it's definitely of interest. As we can see. Next article, I'm going to put it under there so you can see the headline. All right. Google leads the way with kooky investments. It may not always be immediately apparent to frustrated investors who wish management would be more frugal and focus more on the stock price, but there's usually some calculated logic underlying Google's unconventional strategy. And it goes on. The company announced Tuesday it would buy 37.5% stake in the Atlantic Ocean Wind Energy Project, investing in a network of deepwater transmission lines to bring water from still-to-be-built offshore wind farms. That makes more sense when you realize Google already sucks up massive amounts of energy from the power grid and expects to consume even more in the next decade as it opens more data centers filled with row upon row of computers to run its internet services. And if the value of renewable energy rises, as many analysts expect, Google eventually could even sell its stake for a tidy profit. So Google's getting on the renewable energy bandwagon, and since Google is a significant corporate entity, I kind of like that leadership example that it's setting forth. And again, it's one of those issues that we'd really like to see play out and see whether other firms will jump on that bandwagon. Because if there is any bandwagon, it's a good idea to jump on. I think providing new services using renewable is one of them. This is another article about jobs. Can't get away from that because it's such a relevant issue. Let's see. Sour economy leads foes to drop push against casinos. And let's see. In terms of never say never, something about market forces in the economy and high unemployment can really change minds and get people to consider things from a different angle that I guess they never thought they would. The article goes on to say that Dolph Pulliam of Des Moines, co-leader of a ballot campaign supporting Prairie Meadows, calls the casino a godsend because of the money it provides nonprofit organizations in many Iowa communities. Despite their widespread support, the United Church in Iowa remains officially opposed to legalized gambling. And so it does come down to, at least this issue, jobs versus morality. And we can just write an entire book about that one. But that's something else that we can see play out in the news, and hopefully it'll work out the way it's supposed to. We'll see. We just have to keep watching.